Alright, so in this video we're going to take you through installing our plug-and-play amplifier solutions for your Platinum 1794 and some limited edition Tundras. Using a 14mm socket, remove the 4 bolts, lean the seat back just far enough to get to the seat harnesses. Please note that your battery should be disconnected at this time. Remove the harnesses. If you have any problems, we have another video with close-up to show you how to remove the harnesses. Carefully move your harnesses out of the way, make sure they won't get crushed or cracked. Next, remove the plastic from the stock JBL amplifier like you see here. Next, take a 10mm socket, remove the 3 bolts. Next, using your finger or a pry tool, push down on the release for each harness and remove the 3 harnesses, and then remove the stock JBL amplifier out of the vehicle. In the next step, using your fingers, simply pry up the door sill by lifting upward. It'll pop, and just remove it and push it out of the way, or take it out of the way. Alright, so next, peel the carpet back just like you see here, and then exposes the power wire and subwoofer wire that we ran in previous videos. Alright, in this next step, we're going to remove the stock ground wires you see here. Then, using sandpaper or a Dremel, strip away a good amount of paint like you can see here in the video. Make sure you remove enough to make a good connection for your ground wires. Next, take your JBL replacement module, plug in the 3 harnesses into the stock wiring. Alright, so next, be sure to be really careful here and make sure to run the black output connections with the Molex, the subwoofer wire, and your blue remote wire out through the carpet hole just like you see here. Make sure it's the output coming from the harness. Grab the harness with the RCA plugs, connect them to the JBL replacement module, then get your amplifier set up and put it into place. Take your ground wires, stack them underneath the stock ground wiring that you removed earlier. Take the 10mm bolt and make sure to tighten it really well into place. If you're using our dual amp setup, be sure you have 2 ground connections. If you're using the 5-channel setup, be sure you have 1 ground connected. Here, use your 10mm socket and tighten it up. Next, take your power wire, feed it up from the bottom of the amp rack. Using either a razor or strip tool, remove about a 1/2 inch of the jacket and insert it into the fuse block. Be sure none of the copper is exposed. Make sure to tighten the wire, wiggle the wire, and then tighten it again to make sure you get a really good solid tight connection. Loose connections will cause big problems. Push the excess power wire back under the amp rack. Install the cover for the fuse block. Alright, so in this next section we're going to take the blue wire running from the JBL replacement unit. We're going to plug it into the 3204, then we're going to create a jumper wire from the 3204 amplifier over to the 1000 amplifier. Next, strip away the wire, connect the blue remote wire to the TXD 1001 subwoofer amp. Make sure to tighten up your connection using the included Allen wrench. Connect the 2 black Molex plugs from the harness. The white and gray will go on the right hand side, the purple and green on the left hand side. We've labeled the input connectors for you: front, rear, and subwoofer output to make the install easier. Next, plug in the rear RCA cable, then the front cable, and then the subwoofer cable. And finally, the cable for your subwoofer control knob. Carefully tuck the excess wires out of the way, then adjust your carpet. Then place the JBL module in a space underneath the amp rack where it won't get crushed as you tighten the bolts down. Next, we suggest that you go through all your connections one more time and ensure everything is tight. Make sure no copper is exposed. Next, go to the sound settings on your head unit and make sure everything is set flat for every audio source: Bluetooth, CD, AM, FM, etc. From this point on, all the settings must stay in this flat position.